Hey everyone, it's Kurt at boatersoutlet.com. Today I wanted to go over the different types of flotation devices, what you'll need, what kind of flotation device you'll want when you're out there on the water. I'm going to go over the 5 different types of flotation devices that are Coast Guard approved. The United States Coast Guard requires that every boat have an approved jacket on their boat or approved flotation device. I know here in Utah, and it can vary from state to state how many you'll need, what kind of boating you're doing, or where you're at. But for example here, you have to have at least one approved jacket for every person on the boat. You can always tell if you have a U.S. Coast Guard approved flotation device by checking for the approval stamp, usually on the back of a life jacket, on the side. It's always going to be stamped somewhere on that flotation device so you can easily tell if it's safe or not to use. First off, I wanted to go over a Type 1 flotation device. Type 1s aren't as common as the rest. Generally I see them in remote water areas or offshore areas, especially like cruise ships where you're out in the middle of the ocean. They're meant so if you do go overboard, generally in an emergency situation, it's going to float you very well, and they're meant to float you for a long period of time if you're stuck in the water. They're very bulky and they can take up a lot of room, so that's why they're not as common. So next is a Type 2 flotation device. The Type 2s, you're probably used to seeing these. These are very common. These go around your neck with the one strap here. These are meant to float some unconscious wearers up. These aren't meant to spend a lot of time in the water. They're not very comfortable at all. If you're wakeboarding and water skiing, sailing and doing those kinds of sports, I probably wouldn't recommend getting one of these. What I've seen is most people will buy these to meet requirement. Like I'd mentioned to you earlier, the Coast Guard approved requires you to have a certain amount of jackets on your boat. These are safe. They're not very comfortable to wear, but a lot of people will get these to meet requirement to make sure that you have enough jackets for everybody on the boat. Now this one, like I said, you can tell it's Coast Guard approved. It's got the stamp of approval right there on the jacket, so you can always know that it's safe to wear. This is an example of a Type 3 flotation device. This is the most common jacket you'll see out there. These will come with neoprene, nylon, different materials. We carry about 90% Type 3 flotation devices because they're the most common. They're the most comfortable to wear in most situations, fishing, jet skiing, water skiing, sailing. They're the most comfortable to wear. They give you more of a custom fit, and they're not as bulky as the Type 1 or Type 2 jacket. So these are great for recreational boating, a lot more comfortable and very safe to use. I know this is a Type 3 and I know it's Coast Guard approved because it's got that stamp approved right there on the back of the jacket. So here I've got an example of a Type 4 throwable flotation device. Now this isn't something you wear, but this is required on most boats. Now this is just something if you get in an emergency situation and you have to throw something out, you can do that. This is a ring buoy style. We also have this cushion style, which is also a Type 4 throwable that you can get that's a little less expensive, but both will pass as a Type 4 flotation device. In a lot of areas, the Coast Guard will require you to have a Type 4 aboard your boat, along with another type of flotation device that you can wear. So here I've got an example of a Type 5 flotation device. This is actually an inflatable little backpack, fanny pack that you wear on your hip. This would be great if you're doing sports like paddle boarding or sailing or something like that where a regular jacket like the other ones I showed you are way too bulky and in your way. These are great. These are meant for more if you do happen to fall in the water and you can't get back to your board, you'd have to pull that. They come with a cartridge in there, so you pull a little drawstring and they inflate, but every time you have to replace that cartridge, and so this is meant for maybe just that one-time use or that one time you happen to fall in the water, but great for emergency situations. And these don't take up a lot of room at all, so they're great to just stuff in small areas if you have to do that. All of the flotation devices that I've gone over today are U.S. Coast Guard approved. It's always something very important to check for so that you can make sure you're safe out there on the water, and for whatever reason, whatever kind of boating you're doing or recreational sport out on the water, you're as safe as possible. But if you have any other questions about flotation devices and what you'll need, where you're at, feel free to call us and or email us, but definitely check out all of our jackets, flotation devices on our website at boatersoutlet.com.